Welcome everyone to StockPal. Today we have the Managing Director of Parkway Minerals, Bahay Ozcakmak, with us today. So Bahay, could you tell us how is the company coping during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, hi Jared. Thanks for having me on StockPal. Pleased to be with you. So for Parkway, we're a brine, as in salty water processing technology company. We work with energy, mining, desalination companies around the world. So there's sort of global opportunities, and the fact that we're in the middle of a global pandemic, which has created a whole lot of chaos. It's difficult to travel. So in Australia, we don't know if we'll be able to travel for another 12 months internationally. So invariably, it does create some challenges. Having said that, from our perspective at this stage, we're very much focused on capability development. We have virtual teams. So Microsoft Teams is our preferred platform. And by necessity, what we've done is develop some tools. So we've developed some digital models, process simulation models, without going into all the details, but we can digitally show what one of our plants looks like. We can show how it operates. We can show what it produces. And these are all tools that we've developed over the last, sort of 3 or 4 months as the pandemic's kicked in. So these tools are helpful. We've developed them remotely, but importantly, we can share them remotely. So if we have a client in Germany or the US or Canada, it's very easy to have an engineer in Melbourne, perhaps, to have a colleague in Perth and a client in the Northern Hemisphere, and be able to bring up a screen and take them through the process. So these are tools we didn't have a few months ago, and like us doing this interview, sort of we've had to evolve to cope with the new world. But by and large, I think we've adapted really well and sort of rolling with the punches, so to speak.
Right. Glad to hear you guys are coping well. And for viewers who are unaware, when did the company list and why?
So Parkway initially listed in 2011 as a fertilizer mineral exploration company. It raised, I think it was $5 million at the time. It endeavored to discover and acquired a few potash projects and continued on its way until about mid-2019. But really, Parkway now is a very different company. Parkway completed an acquisition late last year, a private potash company, which owned a portfolio of brine mineral processing technologies. And I was the founder of that company. So we essentially were acquired by Parkway, and our focus now within Parkway is in commercializing these technologies. So really, whilst we've been public for some time, and the objective was to use Parkway as a vehicle to be able to build an exploration company, as it happens, where Parkway's pivoted from a fertilizer mineral company to a fertilizer, but a broader mineral processing technology company. So that transaction completed late last year. I became managing director late November, following the 2019 AGM, raised $2.8 million, recapitalized the company. And 2020, we're essentially a new company funded to build a technology company on the ASX.
Right, that's great. And to put it bluntly, how does the company make money?
So we're a technology solution provider. So what we're doing is commercializing technologies. So at this stage, we're pre-revenue, but the business model essentially involves collaborating with our partners to deliver a technology solution. So essentially, you have a client who has a particular waste, brine, water processing challenge. We partner with them to develop a solution to solve that problem. They pay for a lot of that piloting work, feasibility studies. We're partnered with Worley, a global engineering company, so they assist us through that process. And should the technology and the particular feasibility study stack up, then we transition to the delivery phase. And when we deliver our technology, we create value for the client, and we share in that value. So we charge essentially a processing fee, which is only a small proportion of what we're saving the client, but that's essentially the business model. And what's great about the business model, it's capital light. So we don't ever have to develop a, $50, $100, $200 million mine. We often see sort of companies often raising a lot of money, diluting their shareholders to get a mine off the ground. And unfortunately, much of it is very value destructive. Even if you end up with the mine, you haven't actually created value for your investors. So for us, we're very focused on leveraging our technology and using that to add value for our clients.
Right. And speaking of clients, who are the target customers for Parkway Minerals?
So our key clients are in the mining industry. So they're large consumers of water. They only recycle sort of less than 5% of the total water they use. So with all these global challenges, what's happening sort of in lithium, large copper projects in South America, etc., they face large, big water challenges. And for us, we're assisting them recycle some of their wastewater to both reduce the amount of water they consume, as well as produce additional minerals. So the mining industry is our focus, but there are applications in industrial processes that produce these waste brine streams, as well as desalination plants. So a desalination plant generally takes a litre of fresh water, sorry, a litre of seawater, produces half a litre of fresh water, which is great. We now have half a litre of fresh water, but the other half of the equation is we now have half a litre of water that's twice as concentrated. So they're causing long-term challenges, and we're positioning ourselves to be part of the solution.
Right. And lastly, what would you say is the Parkway Minerals competitive advantage?
So this is something we've worked on for a long time. It's essentially our technology. So we've developed a technology platform, worked on it for a long time, developed a range of pilot plants, recruited some very clever people. We have a strategic partnership with Victoria University, who we've been working with for many years. So these guys are world leaders in membrane technologies, in desalination technologies. So for us as a one-step shop, when we approach a prospective client, when we're trying to convince them that they should be partnering with us to develop a solution, we really have, from the R&D capabilities at Victoria University to our internal engineering team to partnered with a global engineering company, we've really brought together quite an impressive technology package in a short period of time. So for us, we think that's very compelling. There's lots of emerging technologies that you hear every now and then somebody somewhere has made a discovery, but it's really, you need a technology platform to be able to realize these things. And it's something that I think we've done a great job assembling, and excited about how we can sort of continue rolling that out as the year progresses.
Right. Thanks so much, Bahay, for your insightful and concise Q&A. So for viewers who are keen on the Parkway Mineral story, the ticker is ASX PWN. And thanks again, Bahay, for being with us today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, Jared.